Good afternoon, everybody. Today is May 16th, 2026, and we just had a very powerful new moon yesterday in Kritika Nakshatra, and which I might create a video on at another time. But today is a very special and auspicious day. It is the birthday, the day of unveiling of Saturn, a very important graha or planet in Vedic astrology. And it's also Saturday, so his birthday is falling on a Saturday. So it kind of gives an extra oomph to the day. And so I thought I would leave you with a little meditation that you can work with to connect with this energy, attune to the support and the wisdom of this planet, of this graha, and of this light body, essentially. So the planets are light bodies, and Vedic astrology is the study of the light bodies and how they function in the larger web of the cosmos and how that impacts us personally and collectively. So I thought it would be really sweet to bring in some of Saturn's energy and see where this might be touching you, influencing you right now in your life, and also giving you some focus to harness the supportive energy of Saturn. So I'm going to bring up an image that we're going to meditate on together. Okay, so hopefully you can see that image. Let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger. All right. So what a beautiful... This is actually pretty rare that I've seen Saturn on a white crow. So normally Saturn is seen riding a black crow. This is the first image I've ever seen with a white crow, but his vehicle is the crow. And one of the remedies for Saturn, if you have a strong affliction of Saturn in your chart, is to feed the crows on Saturdays, which I love doing. I love putting seeds out on Saturdays for not just the crows, but whoever's around. The crows do show up. And specifically, they love the sesame seeds is another remedy, feeding them sesame seeds, black sesame seeds on Saturday. So Saturn is a heavy hitter in the chart. Saturn is one of the biggest planets and also one of the slowest moving planets. So Saturn represents an ability for steadiness and slowness. So wherever Saturn shows up in the chart, it's going to indicate where this person is going to have a capacity, perhaps, for steadiness, steady growth over time, a willingness to meet obstacles and challenges. So Saturn is also the planet that represents challenges, or where we might experience challenges, limitations, obstacles in our life. But it will also indicate the area of those challenges cultivating a deeper capacity for achievement and success over the long term. So wherever Saturn shows up for you, or you could see it another way, wherever deeply challenging events show up for you, whether it's in your work or your relationships or your feelings about yourself, like your self-confidence or your ability to self-express, wherever you feel limited or blocked, or like something is in the way, we could assume that Saturn has something to do with that area for you. So Saturn is a planet of great strength, and the teaching that it brings is that the strength will come through effort, through meeting the limitation, probably continuously, right? Over and over and over and over again. So it's also a planet that will teach us lessons about how to move through hard times, how to move through situations or scenarios that are frustrating for us, that might not be moving as fast as we want them to go, but actually the purpose of the slowness and the pressure and the limitation is for ultimate liberation, to cultivate capacity, perseverance, and commitment. So it's a planet that teaches us about what we are dedicated to, and oftentimes what we won't give up on. So the shadow side of that could be that we can almost be like a little stubborn, or we kind of push and push and push until we're exhausted. So that might be a downside of being, unattuned to when enough is enough, and really coming to the point where surrendering and giving into the pressure or the limitation and learning what it has to teach you about that specific area of your life. So a good example would be if someone has like a very strong influence of Saturn in their work house. And so they might feel like the only option is to push hard, work hard, never take a day off, and maybe can err on the side of being a workaholic, where they have like no personal life, not a lot of joy. Saturn's a very serious planet, and yet super intelligent in how it can move us into that edge and eventually show us that maybe pushing harder isn't going to liberate us, that we actually have to yield, and rather than push harder or work faster or do more, we have to actually slow down and become more conscious of what the situation is bringing up for us, to actually learn from the challenge, be able to slow down, observe, and witness what is coming up in this particular situation or life event for me. So some of the concepts or themes that come with Saturn are strength, longevity. It can also indicate areas of where things may die, or bringing about death for ultimate spiritual liberation. So the goal of Saturn is to guide us towards greater organization, greater specificity with where we put our energy. It provides us with deepening our capacity for patience and also perseverance. Saturn also embodies one of the highest forms of spiritual responsibility. So you can see qualities of Saturn in highly adept spiritual seekers, people who are very committed to their spiritual practice. They'll have a quality, almost like an austere quality, deeply disciplined, enjoying ritual, and also meeting challenges head on, maybe even incorporating certain kinds of challenges so that they gain physical strength or spiritual strength or emotional strength. So someone who is deeply committed to cultivating themselves in a certain way. And all of this effort is for the sake of liberation and self-knowing, to really get to know yourself, to be able to, through the hard things, feel like you have a deeper sense of inner resolve and steadiness. So the teachings come through obstacles, limitations. Sometimes we can experience illness or a misery that will be teaching us something, a life lesson that is very important. And if we stick with it, if we choose to tune into those challenges and bring a conscious awareness to them, those areas in our life, those aspects of ourselves will gain strength over time. And if we decide to avoid the lessons that we're being given through challenges or obstacles or limitations, if we choose to avoid that or look the opposite way, then we can repeat our own patterns of weakness and suffering. So we might have a hard time facing that, and there's every reason why we might avoid or neglect these areas. And what that incurs is almost like a karmic pattern that will happen over and over again, almost like the lesson will keep coming until you actually choose to sit with it. That doesn't mean you have to sit with it alone, but it will likely keep presenting itself because it is a deep life lesson for you on some level. So some of the ways you might identify Saturnian lessons in your life is wherever you feel pressure, stress, or where you feel areas of weakness or have problems building strength. So this could be something physical in the body, or it can be in your relationships. It could be with finances. It could be with worldly events, feeling a part of culture. So Saturn also has this interesting quality of representing the outsider, and also yet having these qualities of dedication to traditional spiritual practices. So that doesn't mean you have to be part of a traditional spiritual community, but there is something traditional about Saturn where there are values placed in intention, dedication, commitment, honesty, spiritual practice, and service to others. So I thought we would call this energy in. I find that over the last 4 years, I've personally been cultivating an intimate relationship with Saturn and have learned so much. And one thing I'll say is that when I tune in inwardly with this consciousness, is that it really asks us to go the deeper level of learning. Like at first it can be really intense pressure, limitation, obstacle. We can almost go into this place of why now? Why me? Why is this happening? And that indication of like, oh, this is happening maybe to slow me down and to bring my attention to something even more specific underneath the surface that I need to pay attention to, that my life is asking me to pay attention to. So even though these lessons can feel really hard, the underlying quality I find of Saturnian lessons, or Saturn's embodiment, the planet of Saturn, is a kind of compassion. It's like a deep caring for your own inner liberation. And it will hold you honest to the process. It won't let you make many excuses. It'll just keep holding you to the tether of this lesson. So with that, take a moment to close your eyes. Find your breath. And bring your body into alignment with your spine. Sitting upright with your head over your heart and your heart over your belly. So another quality I find that Saturn teaches us is that no matter what is happening, no matter where the pressure is coming from, we can access a deeper connection to our own inner resources. We can tap into a deeper form of resolution. And if we allow the space to open even more, that space of stillness, we begin to perceive a way through the challenges we might be facing at this time. So just giving yourself a few deep breaths to really find that steadiness in the base of your spine and your seat. Feeling how your body can hold you steady. And in that steadiness, feel the breath moving spontaneously throughout your whole body. Finding that largeness within yourself of space and spaciousness. And just maybe noticing if it's hard to slow down. And it might be that there's a lot of new energy coming in right now. A lot of new awarenesses about what's needed and what needs to go, especially with the new moon energy of yesterday. And just for the moment, giving yourself the time to inwardly expand the stillness, the inner steadiness. the slowness with which you can take yourself in. And becoming aware of your experience. So Saturn will ask us to look at ourselves, to notice what we perceive, to be honest about what we perceive. To be honest with ourselves. It's also an energy that will invite a letting go of the unnecessary, a relinquishing of excess. So excess stress, excess in overcommitments, and really ask, what is essential? What really needs your attention and care? At a deeper level. So just noticing what arises, and without judging right or wrong, just noticing what comes to the surface of your awareness. A challenge or an area of life that is being highlighted. Or maybe it's the awareness that you have this perseverance in you. That you can lean in to your own strength and feel comforted in that inner steadiness, no matter what's happening around you. And using your intuitive ability to tap in to the learning of what you're seeing inwardly about yourself. What do you see coming through the shadow into the light? So Shani is Saturn's Sanskrit name and was born of the sun and its shadow. Hence the dark blue, almost black skin. So what's coming to light for you? And how does your intuition support you in seeing the truth? Perhaps there's a recognition of past patterns with struggle and a newly emerging dedication to changing the way you meet those challenges, maybe with greater self-knowledge, intuitive awareness, dedication to the long game. So what are you dedicating your energy and attention to? Both inwardly and outwardly in your life. Just letting yourself lean in to what you need to hold this observation with compassion and steadiness. There is no right or wrong. There's nothing to figure out. There's nowhere to get to. Just cultivating the awareness of what is arising for you. And what might arise is a feeling of, I need something. In order to meet this challenge or this question that I have, I need something. So Saturn will also reveal to us under that pressure what we need to feel supported. So letting yourself have a moment with your needs. What do I need to move through this time of challenge, this time of not knowing, where I might not be able to see the way through. But I'm willing to stay steady. Steady with myself, steady with the process. And just one more question before we close. Noticing what this lesson, this obstacle or challenge, what is it teaching you about yourself at this time? What are you learning through what might be difficult? And what might it be giving you? It may be taking something away to reveal something new, maybe an outer or an inner quality. So just giving yourself a moment, feeling into what is this situation or life circumstance giving me? What am I learning about myself? Taking a few deep breaths, letting that go. Bringing your hands somewhere on your body and grounding down into your seat, feeling the earth beneath you, feeling the resource within you. Feeling the guidance that came through for you.